Sir, when does your current policy expire?
Our network specialist will be in your area for consultation on
What
Tuesday.
percentage of your domestic shipping requirements would you estimate we handle?
I'm the supervisor on the Pinkerton account.
Based on the information you've provided, we feel certain our system could save you 10 to 18% on your long-distance bills.
Would you recommend the dealership to your friends?
Hi, welcome to Lexi International.
Lexi International was founded in 1985 as a market research firm dedicated to gathering accurate customer satisfaction data by telephone. As Lexi's menu of services expanded, so too did its client list, which now includes automotive legends, Wall Street lions, and computer giants. Today, Lexi International employs 225 people in a 12,000 square foot office complex on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, and maintains a branch office in Washington, D.C. to serve the government community. Highly trained telemarketers work 3 shifts 7 days a week, amassing accurate customer satisfaction data, collecting valuable information on recent trends, and generating thousands of qualified sales leads for many of America's largest firms. Each year, Lexi employees make over 3 million telephone contacts. From the beginning, company founder Robin Richards believed that the quality of information gathered would be the key to Lexi's success. And he knew that a quality product begins with quality people. Lexi trains prospective employees for a minimum of 2 days. Their training starts with a summary of the Lexi corporate philosophy.
When you begin to work for a firm, you need to understand their philosophy and adhere to it throughout your term here, and that alone will create the synergy necessary for us to grow. It's important that you understand in a competitive world that companies have strengths and weaknesses. Lexi is not the cheapest. Lexi is not the fastest. What Lexi is a company that has the best quality. And that's what we stand for 5 years, and that's what we're going to stand for the next 20. When we talk in terms of quality, quality encompasses integrity. You need to put your answers down and speak to your people, not on behalf of Lexi, but on behalf of our clients. And we represent some of America's largest firms. And so it's important when you're coming to Lexi to understand that we're not looking for you to get to your goals as far as quantity at the expense of quality. If you can do and perform everything you do with quality and integrity, you're going to be fine. You're going to do well, and Lexi will continue to grow. And you'll be a part of that growth. We need teammates, we need team members, and we welcome you to join us in our task of becoming one of the larger, one of the better firms in the country from a telemarketing standpoint.
Before they go online, new employees are trained on Lexi's proprietary software system. They learn proper phone etiquette, how to appropriately disposition a call, how to make an accurate data entry, how to check credit information, and how to ascertain the authorized decision maker. Basic selling skills make up another substantial portion of a new employee's training.
Let's go over the steps of the selling skills again. We first have the opening, discovery, presentation, closing, and follow-through. We've already discussed the opening. Now let's talk about the discovery. The first point in discovery is qualifying. When you're qualifying, obviously you're asking questions. You need to ask questions. Let me give you a few examples of how you'll do this. First one, which long-distance company are you presently using for your long-distance service? How much are you presently using per month in your long-distance billing? Where do you call when you make a long-distance call? How often do you make this long-distance call? In other words, how many times per month would you make this long-distance call? Second point, involving the customer. You need to involve the customer in the conversation. You do not want to make them feel like they have to back off from you because you're asking personal information. You want them to respond back in an open manner. When somebody's asking you about your long-distance service and your billing per month, it's kind of a personal thing. So when you're talking to them, talk to them like you would normally talk to a friend over the phone on a Saturday or Sunday. This type of a conversation. Sit back, relax, make them feel relaxed, and it'd be a much easier process to go through. Listening, which is our next point. You cannot, in any way, shape, or form, qualify and ask questions and not listen to the response that you're getting back. You've got to listen. You do not want to give them or sell them a product that does not fit their needs. So you have to listen. When a person says to you that I use $100 a month in long distance, listen to what that customer just said to you. Make sure that the product that you're selling them benefits that $100 per month that they're using. Make sure that whatever distance that they're calling, be it across the street or be it across the country, listen to what they're saying to you. Make sure that the product, again, that we're selling benefits the need. That's the listening skills. It is the most important step, I think, in the selling skills that you could possibly have. You must listen. The difference between Lexi and other telemarketing firms is not only the quality of the salesperson that we hire, but also our quality control sales process. In this, yes, Tony?
Well, how do you quality control the sales process?
It's a good question. Starting with the U.S. Sprint project, which is a good example, we start with our MIS department.
Lexi's Management Information Services Department retains a permanent staff of 4 senior programmers. They work on a state-of-the-art system that enables them to quickly and accurately process and format data to a client's specifications. When U.S. Sprint's record of potential prospects arrived, the MIS department immediately formatted the data for acceptance by Lexi's computer system. Next, the records were randomly dispersed to each of the telemarketing terminals. All of Lexi's computers are IBM compatible and linked via a Novell network. By using the Novell network, Lexi management can statistically evaluate employee productivity on all projects in the aggregate. On each terminal, USS prospect data appeared instantly, 1 lead at a time. When the telemarketers made a contact, they began to implement the sales techniques learned in training class. Lexi's unique software enabled the client to request question branching based on the respondent's answer to the last question. This was consistent with Lexi's philosophy of leading prospects to an articulation of need, as opposed to canned scripting that sells not on need, but upon what the telemarketer wants to sell. While the telemarketers called potential prospects, employees of Lexi's Ethical Standards Department randomly monitored the conversations as they occurred. Mirror images of the telemarketer's screen appeared on their screens, ensuring that data entries accurately reflected prospect answers. This quality control step was the first among many implemented by Lexi to ensure that consumers were completely aware of what they were buying and that telemarketers conducted themselves with integrity and honesty. In addition, Lexi's Ethical Standards Department had access to a software feature that flagged inconsistent conclusions. This occurred when a prospect responded no to a majority of questions, yet signed up for the new service. Prior to the Sprint account going online, Lexi's Human Resources Department had developed an extensive policy manual specifically for the Sprint project. Lexi project managers, 1 for every 15 employees, kept a close watch on the proceedings. At the end of the day, they met with operations managers to analyze the productivity of each shift and to pinpoint telemarketers who had excelled or failed on that day. The next quality control check occurred at the point of sale. When a sale was made, telemarketers immediately turned the call over to a sales verification manager. They did so by raising a hand. The sales verification manager immediately accessed the call and proceeded to confirm the sale. For the U.S. Sprint project, there was 1 sales verifier for every 6 telemarketers. Approximately 3% of the sales were filtered out by Lexi's verifiers. Lexi believes that this is the optimal time to handle buyer's remorse, at the moment of sale, not later in the day or tomorrow when the sale may have to be made again, or worse, may be lost. The main computer now had a record of all verified sales. Next, Lexi cleansed the verified list of sales. The data was run through the USS Netty filter, which screens sales incorrectly entered into the system, sales made in non-equal access areas, and other sales that did not meet proper parameters. Now the client had a verified and cleansed list of sales, certainly accurate to a degree above and beyond industry standards. Lexi could have stopped here. Most competitors do. But Lexi did not stop. Approximately 20% of the verified and cleansed sales went back to Lexi's Ethical Standards Department for one final quality check. At this point, Lexi inquired about the authority under which the decision to buy was made. If there was any question, the sale was nullified. Of course, some sales were lost, but Lexi instituted this final safety net to uncover improper sales techniques, which in the long run would not have reflected well on Lexi or U.S. Sprint. Telemarketers who appeared more than once during these quality checks and who failed to clearly present the product were either retrained or summarily dismissed, depending on the infraction. The sales data had now met Lexi's high standards. It had been verified, cleansed, and in some cases, re-verified. Finally, the sales information was downloaded nightly via modem to the U.S. Sprint computer system. Let's return to the training class and see how the new hires are doing.
Okay, we've covered everything. Now, are there any questions?
So when do we start?
Remember, I said you have to pass the test first.
One more hurdle. To become a certified Lexi telemarketer, each trainee must pass a test administered at the end of the training period. The test will cover, among other things, Lexi history, Lexi call dispositioning technique, and Lexi phone etiquette. As you can see, Lexi's dedication to screening for quality employees is not unlike Lexi's rigorous sales process, illustrated by the U.S. Sprint account, in which a list of sold accounts passed through many checkpoints before it was delivered to the client. Online monitoring of the sale, online verification of the sale, the USS Netty filter, and finally, the random sampling of up to 20% of all sold accounts. Lexi International, a company built on its people, its systems, and its controls.